Hi, I'm Matt Rawlins. Welcome back to Singapore. I'm in my study or my office today, and I want to look at really some simple guidelines for effective questions. There's no absolutes in this, but there are guidelines, just very simple guidelines to help us know how to start, where to begin with this art of inquiry. The first one is, the questions that you should ask are often essay-based. Who, what, when, where, how. Create space, to create an opportunity, an openness, an engagement, versus binary. Binary just means finishes with a yes or no, begins with is, could, would, do, will, can, are. Think of the difference between how was your day versus did you have a good day? And although it seems similar when you're talking with someone, you will pull different information out. Often when I'm talking with a child, because this is when you have to kind of work hard at it, to say to a child, did you have a good day? Yep. Versus, what was the highlight of your day? It changes, again, they think, they ponder, and they'll tell you something that they hadn't thought about. But again, gives you a quality of relationship, and that's really what we want, is quality. Another guideline for asking questions is an effective question has a specific purpose. You're looking for something. If someone were to ask you, why are you asking? You could easily say, well, here's what I'm looking for, or this is what I need, or this is how this will help me. Versus vague. Sometimes people ask, if you're on a time crunch, or let's say you're walking down the hall and you've got 3 minutes to a meeting and you don't have time for how's the weather in China. You need a very specific answer. You need to ask a specific question related to a purpose. So you can't say, well, how's the report going? When I'm not so interested in the report, I'm interested in how is the job doing in relation to a very specific aspect. So if you're looking for something, an effective question helps to narrow it down to what you're looking for. And so a vague question just kind of opens the door so the person begins, well, when I was 12, this began a process for me. And it's fine for a relationship, but we're talking now about effective leadership and getting what you need to be able to move forward. Another aspect is it stimulates thinking. It engages the person. It helps them to ponder and think for a while, which will almost always include silence. Give them 5 or 10 seconds to respond. You can tell a really good question is there's a silence attached to it. A question that's not so effective is a leading question. Oh, did you hear that? What'd you think of it? You've already kind of biased it. And so this aspect of leading hinders the engagement of when the person has something different or wants to contribute in a different way. Another guideline is evidence is listening. You're respecting the person. You show you've heard them. Something that you've said, you model back to them. You say, well, that sounds good. How about this? Versus ego-centered, where you jump off of that and you tell them your latest exploits, or my power. Oh, yes, I did that, but I did it 5 times better than you, and you better know that. And again, you're going to limit that. And then the last point really is, in the end result, when the person walks away, they feel like they've connected with you. There's a strengthening of the relationship, versus a weakening of the relationship. They walk away going, well, I'm not sure I was heard. Now you'll notice I didn't use the question why, and that is in kind of its own category. In systems thinking, they'll teach you to ask the question why 5 times. Well, okay, that gives you then the systemic issues that you're dealing with. But in the world of human relations, why is often not an effective question because it has a hook. It has an attachment to it that may put the person often on the defensive. Why were you late? And then the person automatically becomes defensive versus what are the challenges for you to get here on time? It's just a different question, but be aware that why in the world of human relations is often, more times than not, going to put the person on the defensive. And when we become defensive, we limit the engagement and the capacity to communicate in an effective way. They're broad guidelines, there's not absolutes, but there's some beginning stepping stones to help you become more effective, to get the quality of information you need, to get the quality of life that you need, to develop an organization that becomes effective with dealing with change. I trust those are helpful, And yeah, you have a good day. Thanks.